we're live.
What's up?
What is up, everybody? And welcome to another episode of the Bearded Men of Real Estate Show. I'm Ray. This is Dan. Say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
And we are two bearded men of real estates.
Yeah. And by the way, guess where we're streaming right now, everyone?
We are streaming right now in multiple locations. Anyone guess? Anyone? No one?
Well, I think
No
they're
one?
going to be able to guess Facebook because they're watching us there. But where else, guys? Where else?
We are now on the Bearded Men of Real Estate YouTube channel. So a little history about this channel. Dan and I decided a long time ago to make a YouTube channel for just the Bearded Men of Real Estate content. Yeah. And so we made it, and no one went there.
Not while I don't do that while I'm drinking.
So we didn't necessarily
too.
Yeah, we didn't really kill it. It just kind of stayed there. And we wound up putting almost, there you go. Brad Daniel says, on the internet. Very good. Very good. Yes. And Melissa Marr checks in. She says, Yahoo, from rainy, sad, chilly New Jersey. Oh, well, thanks for joining the show anyway.
Well, just FYI, it's 118 here and everything's on fire and there's ash in the air and we're all dying. So
literally on fire.
Oh, and it's summer in the middle of summer right now in Colorado and it's snowing. So that's happening.
There you go. Well, I can't wait to go there. So anyway, we had this YouTube channel and we didn't do much with it. We were going to try to do some uploads and clips and stuff like that. Well, all that has been rekindled. So I put the YouTube link in the comments. So if you could go subscribe to that, that would be great. And we appreciate it if you're watching us on YouTube. If you find this later, if you'd subscribe, hit the little bell so that you can be notified when we go live. We try to go live every Wednesday right around lunchtime or brunch time if you're on the Cali coast. So about 10 o'clock on the California coast and about 1 o'clock on the New Jersey coast. So maybe if you wake up late, you can have lunch with us there.
The cheese toast.
So that's 12 Central and is it Mountain Time? Is that 11 Mountain Time? Yeah. So anyway, we should just start doing the UTC.
I think we tried that and then everyone was like, dude, that's way too much math. Because it's 5 p.m. UTC. It was like
5 p.m. UTC, and everyone was like, "What? You're changing?" And they're like, "No, we're not changing.
No,
just be less complicated." We do have people watching all around the world, so sometimes it's helpful. But anyway,
yeah.
All right, we got a ton of news to talk about today.
We have a lot. That's what happens when you take a week off to better yourself, Ray.
Well, it was a conference. It was a really good conference. So we were at Tom Ferry. I don't know if you know Tom Ferry. Oh, well, oops. Hang on. I hit a button and now I'm hitting a neck. Okay. So we were at a Tom Ferry conference. I was at the Tom Ferry conference via virtual. Have you been to a virtual conference yet?
No.
It was good.
I'm not with the XP.
So the only weird part about the whole conference was that you didn't have the full immersion into the conference, where
right.
The session ends and then you're immediately talking with people about implementation strategies and ideas and all that kind of stuff. So you got
to hustle to the next thing, and the buzz is happening when you're there. It's awesome.
Yeah, there was no buzz, right. Unless you had mimosas while you were watching it. So it was good though. I enjoyed it. And it was really informational. Learned a ton. Really good reminders for stuff to implement in the future to help our clients just have a better customer experience. So it was really good. Well, it was very different though. Very, very different.
So I have two questions. Well, one's a statement. Of course it was awesome because they literally ripped off the format of our show.
Maybe a little.
But also my question is, how was Tom? Because Tom is if you don't know who Thomas, he's just always on. He's never off. He's always on.
Still, I mean, it was like normal. They even jumped around and did that whole thing that they normally do. Yeah.
They play the music?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Brad says YouTube seems more apropos for live broadcasting shows. Have thought about relocating there myself. Well, that's pretty good. I mean, I think you can find a home there.
Yeah. And I mean, technically we're broadcasting to a bunch of different spots right now. So
there you go.
We'll see.
And we put it on Instagram. I wish there was a way for us to figure out Instagram Live and integrate it that way. But the only way I could figure out is to have like the camera here on double take, looking at the. I don't know. I can't figure that out quite yet, but we'll see.
Well, maybe because I have a multi-camera setup I'm working on, so maybe we
Maybe we could put it on. Well, I don't know how you would. I'd have to get something that holds the camera like this and points at our show, basically, because you can't feed the show out of that into Insta.
Ah,
yeah. I've been trying to figure this out. Anyway, that's for another day. All right, so we're going to be talking about mortgage demand. We're going to be talking about home prices. It's crazy stuff's going on there. Also, pending home sales, sales of newly built homes. And then even though you may not have moved your home may have moved closer to water. And we're going to talk about a new controversial flood risk score put together by a not-for-profit that everyone in the U.S. is going to receive. Thanks. And then the CDC, they're saying that there's no evictions allowed. So we're going to talk about this rule, what that means. I want to get your feedback. I've already been messaged by several realtors who were like, oh my gosh, that's already tearing stuff up for them. And it was just a bad experience not being able to evict people. Zillow is expanding their offers program. San Francisco has a mass exodus on their hands. The forbearance bros have a problem. Anyway, oh yeah,
that's a great show on TLC. Have you ever seen it? Forbearance Bros.
No. It's a new HGTV thing, Forbearance Bros. So, and let's see, we're going to talk about Zillow, and the question is, have they met their match? There's a public broker portal that thinks that they are going to compete with Zillow, and we're going to talk about them. You already know about them, but you may not.
And I actually have a lot of questions.
Strategy.
I want to get a lot of opinions and feedback on that one, so make sure you stay tuned to I think it may be our very, very last article, but I want opinion because I have a lot of questions about that one.
Christina M. Smallhorn, hello. Thank you for checking out the show again. She's got a fantastic YouTube channel, by the way. Melissa Mara says, I love talking about flood stuff.
So is she emphasizing like I love talking about flood stuff, or is she or is it sarcastic?
Yeah. I think
I would go with the latter.
Dripping with the sarcasm.
By the way, does anyone else say the M in her name, Christina? Smallhorn.
Smallhorn. Everyone should.
Very, very judgy.
Judgy, or is it like
I would do judgy. Not that she is. I'm just saying that's how I would. Christina. Smallhorn. Are
you ready to get in the headlines?
Absolutely. Wait. We didn't tell them about the show, but that's okay. They already know.
Oh yeah, they already know. We'll skip it today. We
met a while ago and we came up with the show, and now we're here. You ready, Ray?
Let's go. And Melissa Marr does say it's sarcasm dripping from her mouth. It's a daily conversation here.
So pro tip, next time when you want to add sarcasm, add 2 more O's. Then it'll be I love. People will know automatically.
You know what they do on Reddit? They do a /S. That we know it's sarcastic.
Nice, because 30 years of the internet, they haven't come up with a sarcasm font yet. They have an italicized font yet. You know, italicized, bold. They don't have. I guess the
sarcastic emoji might be an eye roll. That'd be close.
Yeah, I love.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about mortgage demand.
Let's do it.
Bammo. Mortgage demand from home buyers surges. Let me see if I can make this wider. Hang on. What's going on? That did not work. Let's try again. All right.
It goes wider, but it doesn't.
It's a little bit better. Okay, so we have a surprising surge of mortgage demand. Well, school has started and the real estate season is over, right? No. Not at all, actually. Mortgage applications rose again last week to 3% higher than the previous week and are 40% higher than a year ago. 40% higher than a year ago. That's a lot of percents.
Wow.
So you might say, surely it's just refis. Nope. Let me read this again. Mortgage applications to purchase were up 40% over last year. Refis were also up 3%, making them 60% higher than a year ago. So your favorite lender is going to be on an amazing vacation soon. I mean, how could they not with numbers like this? Well, so let's look at the quote from Joel Kahn, who's the MBA economist. He says, there continues to be resiliency in the purchase market. The average loan size continued to increase, hitting a survey high of $368,600, highlighting the strong overall demand for buying a home. Conventional VA and FHA purchase applications all increased last week. So mortgage applications to purchase are definitely on the rise.
So what does that tell you guys? Yeah, this is a good comment.
Greg says, "Hey, my bald bros from Baltimore. Do we need to not say be more anymore? I don't know what to say.
I don't know, but I don't think I'm bald.
Is Greg in Baltimore, or is he saying be more? Is what? Because Pete always says every time we say be more, he thinks Baltimore.
But see, he's from that area, so
Brad Daniel says /sarcasm, and Eric Edge says hi, all from Delaware. Thanks, Eric. Thanks for checking out the show, man. You have locks.
I do. Dan. It's completely white, but I do have locks.
Locks of love. All right. So anyway, applications to purchase are way up versus last year.
Well, and what does this tell you guys? If you're reading along or listening along at home or watching along at home, what does this tell you? This tells you need to be finding buyers right now, or get your buyers agents busy, right?
Yeah. If you don't have any buyers, there's a problem. You should have lots of buyers right now.
Yeah. But also you got to think ahead. So a lot of this has been, I don't know, I've heard it a lot where it's like, no, our lender can close on your listing because we're buyer centric. We're not doing a bunch of refis right now. So my guy he's put a focus on buyers right now. So we're ready to close. It's not going to take us 35, 45 days. We're ready to close. 40% increase in application volume. All of those lenders that are focused on only, quote unquote, only on buyers, they're busy now too. So you need to plan ahead. You need to either be writing in your contract, give them an extra 5 days, or make sure they can close in the 30. Because I don't see a 21-day close happening right now. I mean, maybe. I don't.
It'd be tough. Well, the appraisers are backed up too, just because they're so busy with both the refis and the purchase applications. So that's going to be tough either way, I think.
Yeah, we have 17 days here for inspections and appraisal, and I still shorten inspections to 7 or 10 days because that's controlled by me and us. But appraisals, I don't go any lower than 14. And if a listing agent wants lower that, I could say, cool, I can do that. But I can't promise they'll be out there in the first 7 to 9 days. It's tough.
So what is this going to do? So let's say theoretically that you have a 40% increase in applications. What's going to happen to the home prices?
Well, they're going to maybe see the biggest surge or the biggest gain in 2 years. What do you think? There's a story. It just pops up as you say it, right? This is crazy.
I think that is highly likely, my friend.
Oh. Do you think we'll see a resurgence in home gains? I don't know.
Yeah, it's all surgy today. Oh, wait. Emily Terrell says that is our main hang up. Is appraisers. Yeah. She says she always recommends ordering the appraisal on the day the contract is signed. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
So that's a really smart person agreeing with me. That's the first time ever. Thank you, Emily. You're $20 in the mail. What's Clayton got going on?
All right, I'll go to him. Well, I'm going to bring us back up if we're going to be talking to Okay, Clayton says, I have underwriters looking at files 2 weeks after they were submitted and appraisers calling asking about the property in 3 weeks from now. Asking to go to the property 3 weeks from now. So they're getting the order and then saying, hey, I'm 3 weeks out.
21 days.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm lucky on the newest listing I just put into escrow. They're coming out tomorrow. So that's less than a week turnaround, but still, I mean, I feel lucky in that one. So, all right. What does that do? So home prices suddenly out of nowhere see the biggest gains in 2 years. I'm just trying to be sensational so we get views on YouTube. That's it. That's the only reason. I'm not a sensational guy. Neither is Ray, but dude, we got to do something. Kidding.
Unless you were listening to the show, we totally called this one. So,
right. So from CNBC, exceptionally strong demand, historically low supply, and record low mortgage rates were predicted on the bearded men. Are combining to fuel the fastest home price growth since 2018 nationally. So I did my own numbers here in Rancho. So if you guys want to run quick numbers, just literally a year ago, July, how many closes in your city or in your area? And then this July, that's all I did real quick. Cause I thought it'd be very interesting to see it. I always love comparing numbers, and I compared numbers a couple of weeks ago and mine was less. Mine was on the opposite side of what the story says. So wait to see what mine says on this one. But nationally, home prices in July were 5.5% higher than in 2019. Dude, that's a big gain nationally. That is a market increase from the 4.3% annual gain seen in June. according to CoreLogic. Falling mortgage rates helped bolster the pent-up demand from spring when home sales ground to a halt due to the start of the coronavirus pandemic. I missed that one, the Rona. The average rate on the popular 30-year fix fell below 3% for the first time ever in July, giving buyers an additional purchasing power. This is a quote from Mr. Frank Nothoft. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Frank. Lower priced homes are sought after and have had faster annual price growth than luxury homes. He's CoreLogic's chief economist. First-time buyers and investors are actively seeking lower-priced homes, and that segment of the housing market is in particularly short supply. So the inventory of homes priced under $100,000 was down 32% annually in July, according to the National Association of Realtors. Compare that with the supply of homes priced from $500,000 to $750,000, which was down just 9%.
Wow.
So there's a big difference there. So it's what do we? I mean, it's the same thing. We sound like a broken record, right? The lower end of the market needs more homes. If only we had some new construction. All right. So here's my numbers. And remember, this is just my city. This is just Rancho Cucamonga, California. Okay. So a year ago, July, let's just call it the average, not the median, the average sale. So there was 117 closes a year ago in July. Average sale was 620,000. Let's call it 621,000. Let's go by close price, 611,000. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, average 2,100 square feet. That's the average in Rancho. This year, this July, average close, you want to do some quick math, Ray? So from $611,000 in 1 year to $653,000.
Wait, I can do this. That is what, $40,000 of, is that a 2.5% increase?
No, 1% is $6,000,
Oh,
6,500.
Jeez, I don't know.
I mean, we're on an 8% increase ish. 6.5%, 7% increase. And then everything else the same. 4 bedroom, 3 bath, about the same.
6.6.
Dude, so we're higher than the national average. And that's insane to me, especially when a couple weeks ago when I ran the numbers, we're at about a month's supply right now. We don't have a lot of active homes.
True. Let's go.
You know,
our numbers are reflected in the national numbers to be exactly what everyone's saying. So Christina Smallhorn says, I have that issue here with Baton Rouge with appraisers.
Okay, so
I had jumbo in Baton Rouge when I was a kid, and I will never forget it. It was so good. Melissa Mara said July 2020, 198 closings in her area. July 2019, 213 closings. So they actually have had a decrease. Interesting.
So they have but see, they're really hurting for inventory right now. So it's possible there's just no homes to sell.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second too. Christina said homes over 100K in any market at any time are always in short supply. More so now than it was 3 years ago, though. I mean, 3 years ago, I could help someone find a house from 100 to 150 in our market pretty easily. And now it's like whatever comes on the market, that's how fast you just got to go get it. Melissa Mars said, I can't do prices right now. Craig said, I'm back, baby. Good. All right. Let's see. Melissa Mars said exactly inventories in the pooper.
Yeah. And I just ran. So let me do that again. So in July, 141 closes right now active. Let me go back to my MLS. Right now active. This is just active single family in Rancho Cucamonga. There's 147 matches. So that's a month. We have a month of inventory.
Wow.
That's it.
Well, speaking of pending home sales,
smooth. It works.
It kind of works. Signed contracts to purchase existing homes are also up 5.9% in July compared with June, according to the National Association of Realtors. So that makes sales 15.5% higher than 2019.
Ray, this is during a pandemic.
Right?
It's insane to me.
Right? Here's a quote from Lawrence Yoon. He's NAR's chief economist. He said, we are witnessing a true V-shaped sales recovery as home buyers continue their strong return to the housing market. Home sellers are seeing their homes go under contract in record time, with 9 new contracts for every 10 new listings. Yoon goes on to say that he does not expect sales to drop in the fall, as some are anticipating, but thinks they will increase this fall, bringing the full year total to 5.4 million, which is 1.1% higher than 2019. Now, as Dan stated, the main problem is still inventory. It's down 21% in July. Anecdotally, realtors are telling me, and this is Lawrence Yoon talking, anecdotally, realtors are telling me that there's no shortage of clients or home seekers, but that scarce inventory remains the problem. If 20% homes are on the market, if 20% more homes were on the market, we would have 20% more sales because demand is that high.
Well, what was that number? 9 out of 10 9 out of 10 listings are getting sold. So there's nothing sitting on the market. They're out of every 100 homes, 10 sit, and those are eventually going to get sold too because they just missed the market probably by 20 or 30 grand.
Yep, exactly. Greg says Baltimore market is on fire, low inventory and low rates. Clayton Fernando Estrem says August 2019 we had 188 sales in my area. August 2020 we had 246. It's just 3 zip codes. That's amazing.
Wow. Clayton, can you run real quick? So last month you had 246 sales. What do you have active right now in those same 3 zip codes?
I wonder what the prices are too. And while we're waiting on Clayton to run its numbers, I just want to remind you guys that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Actually, if you go to, I'm going to drop this. If you click on this link, it'll take you to our live broadcast that's literally happening right now on the YouTube. Look. And you can comment live on that too. And we can display your comment on the show just like we're displaying your comment from Facebook too. So you can please subscribe and hit that bell.
Yeah, and check it out. So I'm obviously subscribed and have the bell on. But look, right there. I got the notification from the YouTubes. And you can too.
And you can too. One of my fellow agents had a cash buyer for a property, and $55K, 28 settlement got beat out. What?
I don't know what the settlement part is. He's in Baltimore.
One of my fellow agents had a buyer for a property and $55K, 28 settlement got beat out.
Cash buyer for a property and $55K.
Does
he mean plus $55K?
Oh yeah, there it is. $55K over list. So his that's what happened. $55K over list.
And it's cash, so it doesn't need an appraisal.
Christina Smallhorn said, I want to say I told you so badly to the agents that said the market was going to crash because of the pandemic. We got more news on that a little later. It's going to make you feel good. 447 active right now is what he said. So he's got roughly a month and a half inventory, maybe a month.
Yeah.
So that's still super low though. You know, it's anywhere up to 3 is a seller's market. So it's a very good seller's market.
So I think in his market, for him, if I'm quoting his numbers right, he's usually like more comfortable is 4 to 6. I think that's everywhere, but a month and a half is very, very quick for his market. My beard is doing some crazy things today, Ray.
You got to get that boar's hair brush after it.
Well, no, I got that. I got the whole stuff, but I conditioned today. So it's like, dude, I'm free. Can we break free?
Melissa Martin said, I have a few guys saying that right now. I'm assuming she's not talking about your beard.
Why aren't we talking about my beard? I changed the subject.
Speaking of another surge in inventory, what would be happening right now with new home sales?
And not my friend that sells watches. Not the singer from System of a Down. I don't know. I can't stop.
Hey-oh.
Yeah. All right. So sales of newly built homes surge 36% in July. Hi. There's people wondering. Hi. I know. We're live right now. I know. It's cool. It's cool. You no? Yeah. Okay, cool. They wanted to come on. I'm like, nah, we can't. There's too many people. They'll get nervous. So sales of newly built homes soared across the nation in July as pent-up demand from the shutdown spring market. Urban flight, which I want to know what that is, Ray. Is that what we've been talking about? Just people leaving areas?
I think that's a racist term. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I don't know. You can say that. But basically, it's people moving out of the cities.
Right.
They used to call it urban infill, where everyone was moving into the cities.
But now it's flight. like leaving.
Yeah.
So, and I literally put a question mark after it, like, wait, what? So if you guys want to read and see that urban flight for yourself, that's on cnbc.com. And a new desire for more work at home space fueled the growth. So as measured by signed contracts, new home sales jumped 13.9% compared with June and were a remarkable 36.3% higher annually, according to the U.S. Census. I won't make that joke. June's reading was also revised higher. This is the strongest 1 month pace since, ready for it, 2006, 14 years. So the strongest 1 month pace for new construction sales in 14 years. This is the third consecutive month of sizable sales gains. That is a tough sentence. This is a third consecutive month of sizable sales gains after sales dropped dramatically in March and April due to the onset of the Rona. Strong demand sucked up the inventory of newly built homes for sale, which fell to a 4-month supply. We have sound effects now. It sucked up 4-month supply from a 4.7-month supply in June. This is a quote. The new home market has everything going for it right now, including limited resale supply, fear of missing out, which so I have questions once I'm done with this. Heightened dissatisfaction of our current living situation, low mortgage rates, months of saving money, and increased demand from key demographic cohorts, said Ali Wolf, chief economist at Myers Research. So I don't, maybe this is just my buyer pool, Ray, and whoever's watching and listening, but I don't have a lot of new construction buyers. And I've said it 1,000 times on the show. It might be because of high HOAs and high Melrose or special assessment taxes that go on top of your tax base. I literally, 1 out of every, I don't even know, 50 buyers maybe asked me about new construction. It's not like a very common thing for me. This is just me and my buyer pool at all. Like, I don't even get asked about it.
It's really interesting in our market. Like, people aren't targeting new construction, but they all hope that what they're looking for, they can find in new construction. I understand in other big cities, like, there are new construction buyers. There's not that here. I mean, basically, they look at everything on the market and they're like, oh, wow, that one's new. That's great. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. Brad Daniels is in our area too. He said sound Q34 standby. And Greg Skespaniak says, fellas, you can discuss Gary Vanderchuck at Tom Ferry Summit, where he said the areas about 90 minutes from main cities will be flourishing since less people are going into the office.
He's late. He's months behind this. Maybe he just said it at Tom Ferry, but he's way behind the curtain. Who is this Gary Vanderchuck guy? And
then Greg Skespaniak goes on to say, Vanderchuck, crazy last name like mine, not sure how to spell. Well, it's Vaynerchuk. And if you watched him on One Library TV years ago, that's how I used to always say it. That's how I know how to say it. So how'd I do on your name though? I think I got your name right, Greg?
So when I met Greg and hung out with him last year at Tom Ferry, I think I got it. I think it's Suspaniak. I think.
That's too fast. You got to have more consonants in there, I think. I mean, they don't just throw consonants in there to not be pronounced.
Yeah, they do. Do you know a coach by the name of Mike Krzyzewski?
Yeah, wasn't he on Monsters, Inc.?
No.
Mike
Krzyzewski. Not that Mike, different Mike.
He said
Coach Duke forever.
All right, there it is. Hispanic. So okay. So on what Gary V
Coach K
said, he is like 2-3 months behind what we were saying. And one of the other things I noticed at the Tom Ferry conference, they had the Keeping Current Matters guy on there who, threw down the gauntlet on everything that was happening, talking about recent headlines, talking about all this stuff. And I actually put in the Be More chat, I really like his information, but he is totally late to the party. Like, we have been talking about that for 3 or 4 months by the time I got around to there.
So now let's throw out the caveat that maybe they're just saying, because this is their first conference, maybe they're just catching people up that haven't watched our show. But what are you learning? If you watch our show, you're more than current on current matters. But
there you go.
I mean, so let's say that one caveat. Maybe Gary said this in other avenues or whatever, but I mean, it's not just weeks behind, it's months behind.
But he's a generalist. He's not a specialist. So we are specialists. Clayton Fernando Estrens says, as July year to date, existing homes are at 0% compared to 2019. New builds are up 14%. So they do have more new builds there. Melissa says, I don't know either right now, mostly because the company building the most in the area is DR and it's on an old landfill.
Oops.
Don Mack says, no new construction near me. Well, sorry.
Dan.
Yeah, I gotta.
Those Warby Parkers aren't working today.
Dan Mack,
and
he's his avatar though.
Yeah, he's in like the Long Beach area, so he's Southern California as well.
Let's see. Greg says, but I'm from Maryland fan, so he boos Coach K. That's funny.
He's out. Himself.
He's leaving. Greg's leaving. All right, see you later.
Hey, it's been fun, guys.
He's like, I'm out. Well, it's too bad he's leaving because this next article I think is quite controversial. So if you're watching us live, please share the show. What do you mean, Melissa Ray's having issues today? I'm having issues every day. So please share the show and tag some. If you know a scientist, tag them. If you know real estate agents, lenders especially,
you gotta
insurance agents, calling them out, tag them, put them in the comments.
Hey,
here's why.
I can't tag him in. Someone tag in Saeed for me. My buddy, he's here. But yeah, I can't. Right. I can't comment. And by the way, Ray, you got to stop making me laugh while I'm taking a sip. I'm gonna spit my iced tea out.
Eric's checking in. What's up, Eric? Thanks for checking in the show. All right, here's the deal. Every American home is getting a flood risk score, and many are at a higher risk than previously known.
Even though we never experience floods here in Southern California. We're right below foothills, so flash floods happen when it rains a lot. So fires, right? You get fires, and then
so here's
no brush to hold it. So, but I'm gonna get a flood score.
Let me get to the article, and then I'm gonna get to I got a severe rub with this one.
I'm already offended, and Ray hasn't even started the story.
I got a severe rub. All right. So, did your home move closer to water? No. Well, water moved closer to your home. Now every American is going to get a flood risk score on the heels of double hurricanes, which became much like those all cash buyer phone calls that we get from Zillow, who are a lot of promise and then peter out quickly.
Yeah.
So too did the hurricanes. And it is hurricanes. It's not hurricanes.
Right. It's
hurricanes.
Just like it's cancer.
So now every homeowner and potential home buyer in America will be able to see a new forward-looking analysis. What? Forward-looking analysis of a property's flood risk. That could have a huge impact on the national housing market. So I'm just going to quote somewhat from this controversial article from CNBC. It says, First Street Foundation launched an interactive website offering flood risk data on more than 142 million homes and properties across the country in June. Now, Realtor.com, one of the nation's largest home listing sites, licensing the Realtor trademark from the National Association of Realtors Trade Organization, that was inserted, not quoted, will put those scores on all of the listings. First Street is working with more than 80 scientists and researchers and is revamping America's flood risk in an effort to educate owners and home buyers and the greater real estate industry. It assigns a flood score to every property. Quote, we're basically building flood models that calculate the past, present, and future flood risk for every home in the country, said Matthew Ebby, founder and executive director of First Street Foundation. By integrating a flood factor into Realtor.com's platform, we will not only reach millions on a daily basis, but will do so when they need it most, when they're buying or selling a home.
And then it shows a picture of a house that's been overly flooded to scare people. Like, come on.
This is exactly why. All right, so here's the deal.
Wait. Before you go, see where that red thing is? That's Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yep.
There's not a lot of water.
Not a lot. I mean, we got some lakes, right?
Yeah. He's not really. And by the way, I'm zoomed out pretty far because you can see Oklahoma, you can see Missouri, Kansas City, Mississippi, Louisiana, which is close.
And we got a ton of hills too. If my house floods,
right,
like you're gonna see animals lining up 2 by 2. Lisa Perk said every house is in the flood zone. We have a river that floods. We do have a river that floods. Yep. So Ryan Bokeros hit the nail on the head. This is exactly where I'm going. It's a real estate minority report. And my comparison was going to be, are we going to have crime maps that show the future rate of crime based on the past rate of crime?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So weathermen are notoriously difficult for actually predicting the weather that's going to happen today. It's going to be very difficult for them to predict floods where they're going to happen just based on how much water they could have. We all saw what happened with the 2 hurricanes, and this article was written right before it, where they were predicting massive flooding. It wasn't
Ray was supposed to die.
What? Oh yeah. Little Rock was supposed to get hit so hard that everything was supposed to flood here.
And
Yeah,
you got a sprinkle or a drizzle.
we barely got some rain that day. So I have my problem with this is that it is not based on the past. So the flood maps that are in the 500-year floodplains, 1,000-year floodplains, all that stuff that the government produces is based on flooding history, not flooding future.
Right.
This flood data is projections from climate scientists based on climate change, which we know how accurate they've been. I think, what is it, like last year or 2 years ago that the world was supposed to end, according to Al Gore? So I've got some
the
major
Mayan calendar got it wrong too. 2012.
Who did?
The Mayan calendar.
Mayan calendar also wrong. Lisa Perk said it's based on climate change. Yes, it is based on climate change. 80 climate change scientists that have been predicting where it's going to flood. So yes, I have a major issue with this because how many of those climate change scientists actually believe differently? Probably none. And so they're using consensus science to do a future prediction and basically scare people. And that's
where I was going with this. So let's say, because I'm always I like to see both sides of this. So let's say that there is some factual data behind an unbiased report on future floods. How do you scare people nationally? By the way, so if you want to see where I'm at, there's my dot.
Yeah.
See above the dropped pin?
You're going to die.
But you see that green stretch of, those are mountains. You see that, right?
Yeah, but look at all the blue on the map. You're clearly in a floodplain.
Right. Like, okay, let's just say there's
Melissa Mars says my place is a hair just outside the flood zone. Well, not anymore, kid. Now you got a flood score.
And also, she sent us a picture of a house the other day. It was literally on like a foot. It's a foot above, and that survived Sandy. The house was built before Sandy, and it's still there. So I get it. I understand. Let's be careful about stuff. But what's behind this? There's a dude behind this going, national flood scores for everyone. Who's going to benefit? Well, I mean, my company will. But I'm just saying that I have all these scientists that happen to agree with me for the benefit of my company are saying that your house is going to flood in the future if you live in Missouri. What?
Melissa Mars says, I have to look at the maps in the article more, but something just doesn't look right after breezing by it. Yeah. Patrick Ellis of Ellis Home Inspection said, maybe they can give me some lottery number predictions. Lisa Burke said, beachfront, baby. Yeah, which beach, though? Because one beach is growing, supposedly. I think over by Melissa, that beach is supposed to be growing, right? And the one in California is supposed to be shrinking.
Well, we're all beachfront
is it
now.
The other way? Is it the other way? I'm confused.
Everyone's beachfront.
Lisa Perk said, I'm in flood zone X, but FEMA has already given every property a flood zone.
Right. So if you're in a legit flood area, historically, where it floods, and that's what I want to say is about, I get it. Like if you've had historically bad floods, you know, where Clayton is, and he's dealt with it so many times, and Ryan right there where he's had to deal with it. Yeah, sure. I've never had a flood. Okay, so wait, hold on. I've only lived in Southern California for almost 47 years, though.
Well, you also haven't been into the future yet, Dan.
I have not been into the future, but I have seen streets flooded, and I've seen things. By the way, I thought quickly, I think Ray, I don't know where Ray shared it, but he has showed us. Do you have like a big throughway, like a big floodway or flood zone? Not a flood zone, but like you've shown us a river before, and it was crazy. Yeah. It wasn't overflowing though, and it was insane, but still didn't overflow.
Right. Yeah.
So
Ryan said we're about to build in a Z zone or in a V zone. And then he says hashtag island life. Lisa Burke said, well, X is no flood insurance required, but you can buy it if you want. Clayton said Dan's house floods all the time with love. Aww.
Absolutely. That's very
so yeah,
true.
I totally agree with where you're taking this. The problem is even if you believe in all the climate change variables and global warming or whatever it is now, I can't remember. Even if you believe in all that stuff,
Climate warming,
global climate
global
warming,
change,
cooling,
global change.
even if you believe in global change, the issue with having a futuristic prediction of floods affecting the real estate market based on what somebody might believe could happen. I mean, I think we've all seen
Could happen
on Discovery Channel, like when they do those special reports, like what if Little Rock were to flood, and it's got all this, cool futuristic stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see what could happen at the end of the world, but it's not valid information that should impact the value or sellability of a property.
Right.
And I think realtor.com should actually reverse course on this. And all of you who don't say anything, whenever your buyer says, well, I'm not buying that house because of the flood, look at this flood future prediction, then you cannot complain at that moment because you did nothing to pursue realtor.com and get this crap off there.
Yeah. And by the way, I think there is some concerns about the future of our planet. I do. I've thought that since I don't know, it hit me about 16 years old. I think there are some concerns. There's just trash everywhere. Like we make a lot of trash. We make a lot of waste. Like I've always thought these things.
Right.
And whatever, let's just, for the sake of the story, I 100% believe global change, whatever we're calling it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
real. Would I believe anyone, if I'm speaking to you right now, if you're hearing my voice, if you 1000% believe in global warming change over the course of climate warming, whatever it's called, do you think every house in the nation should be given a flood score, not a excessive heat warning score, not a tornado score, not a hurricane score, not a, you say hurricane, right? Yeah. Not any of those natural disaster scores, but a flood score. Every house in the nation, every one of them.
Lisa Perk is correct when she said ancient aliens predicted this, but hey, plot twist, we are the aliens. What? All right, Melissa Mara said, does the house have to be raised? That's my favorite question to get. So now that brings up a good point, because I don't know what data they're going to use. Are they going to use the elevation certificates of every house? Because you could have a house on stilts right on the coast, and yet it has a flood score of like underwater. And then suddenly they realize that, oh, that house has been on stilts for years. And there's no, you know what I'm talking about? Like the homes on tall piers.
Yeah.
All right. So I have problems with this. Dan,
do you want to see the house that Melissa was talking about? It's in our chat.
I'll try to find it.
If you can, I'll go on to the next story. If you can get that up, because it's literally on water, and that survived Sandy.
That's amazing.
So here's some more fun news. You ready? This is an extraordinary move by the CDC to stop evictions, draws heavy criticism from housing industry and tenant advocates. So the CDC made put another moratorium on evictions. That sounds good, right? In theory. Yeah. So we want to get your thoughts on this. Like, cool, you can't get evicted if you lost your job because of the Rona or if you've been furloughed or anything. So this is a little longer story, so please bear with me, but we can take comments in the middle of it if there are any that pop up, Ray. So last Tuesday, September 1st, this story is about a week old. As temporary Rona-related evictions protections in several states has expired, the Trump administration announced a somewhat creative plan to stop most rental evictions through the end of the year. The White House issued an order through the Center for Disease Control, and I don't know if you guys have heard about them lately. The CDC. It's a little known center. They declared that evictions during a pandemic are a national health hazard. Good in theory, right? The unprecedented order by the CDC came after a federal moratorium on evictions from properties with federally backed mortgages expired at the end of July. So while tenant advocates applauded the eviction action, most said the administration's move lacked the necessary financial relief for both tenants and landlords to keep them from falling further behind or further into debt. This is a quote: "The CDC order is really quite extraordinary, but if it's
Uh-oh. Did Dan freeze? Or is that me? Did Dan freeze? Or am I frozen? I can't tell. I just see frozen.
Hi. Hey.
All right, now you're back. Hey, wait.
Hi.
Did I freeze or did you freeze? It's messing up again. I can't tell if I'm messing up or you're messing up. Yeah. Patrick says yes. So maybe it's both of us. Yes, he said. Oh, he's frozen. Okay, yes. Dan, you froze, bro. Get all your people off of your network. Pete Thorpe said, not only am I on, I'm wearing my Be More shirt. Yes. Melissa, Mike Elizabeth Rodell said, Dan is so frozen. Eric says it's Dan. Okay, thank you guys for all the lurkers coming out to let us know stuff's happening. Dan, you're probably gonna have to reset, man. Hopefully, he doesn't have to restart his computer. You just reset his interweb. All right. So on this topic, I want to bring up Emily. All right, we'll wait for Dan to reconnect. She said, "In my opinion, this is a horrible move by the CDC." She said, "I had tenants stop paying rent, and I was unable to get them out." She said, "I got extremely lucky. They moved, but they stole everything from the house. Curtains, fans, dishwasher, holes in walls, tore a wall down, and tried to steal the oven. Seriously. And there's no kind of eviction process that you could use. Would that be like a criminal eviction? Could you use something like that to get them out? I don't know. That's crazy." Melissa says, Dan froze. You were fine. Thank you. Mike Elizabeth Rodell says, I too am wearing my Be More shirt. Oh, makes outfits on Wednesday super easy. Are y'all wearing the Listen, Learn, Love shirts or the Faces logo? All right, so I can bring back up this article a little bit to talk about it. It was a surprise to a whole bunch of people that the CDC did this. Some say it was Trump through the CDC. Some say that CDC pretty much acted unilaterally. Either way, they need $100 billion to cover the deficit from. Let's see, that's Benfar. Did he already get to the Benfar quote? I don't know if he. Oh, wait, I just heard him reconnect. Let's see.
Hello.
Bam. Hey, yeah. You're back. All right, so I got Emily's comments on it. She said they were getting unemployment and stimulus, just choosing not to pay, and she could not evict these people that kind of destroyed the property. So here, I'll let you. Wow, I think you're still frozen. Are you there? Are you still there? Isn't that what Netflix says?
And my friend.
Yeah, I mean you're back now.
Hello.
Like you. Okay, now you're back, but you're like stopping and starting pretty major.
That's weird. My connection says it's super solid.
Yeah, mine is too. I don't know.
Yeah, I got all 4 bars, man.
All right. Sorry. So pick up where you left off. And if you guys know of property managers or other real estate agents or something like that has tenants that have been impacted by this, leave us some comments, just like Emily did, because I want to know what's the real story here.
Okay, so where I was, I have to bring it up. Sorry. Hold on, please, real quick. Got to click on some things. It's fun to do a live show, isn't it? And I need to come back. Okay, are you guys, am I still here?
Yep, you're there.
Okay, good. I got to get down to it. My producers are frantically trying to catch up here. Uh-oh. Unable to load the file. What is going on?
It's your internet, dude.
I know, but why doesn't it say that it's not working? Okay, there we go. Come on. Bear with me, people. By the way, that's spelled B-E-A-R. I learned today.
Howard brings up a good point. Maybe it's the Cali fires that are messing things up over there.
Well, there's rolling blackout. There's a whole bunch of things, but I still have power. So there's a lot of things happening in Southern California right now. There's fires, excessive heat. There's ash in the sky. You can't breathe. You can't go outside because there's a pandemic, but there's also ash everywhere. So the air quality is horrible. Rolling blackouts because energy is way overused right now. It's insane. So anyway, While tenant advocates applaud the eviction action, most said the administration's move lacked the necessary financial relief for both tenants and landlords to keep them all from falling further into debt. The CDC order is really quite extraordinary, but if it's not coupled with rental assistance, it's just pushing the issue down the line, and it will snowball into a crisis that landlords and tenants will be recovering from for decades. And that's from Emily Benfer, a law professor at Wake Forest. You guys still there?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, I have to check in. So this is another quote. If tenants are unable to pay their rent, then this is okay. So a lot of these things, when they did the first forbearance and when they did the first eviction moratorium and all that stuff, it was about the renters and the actual people living there, which I love and I respect. But not a lot of the stuff was about, we mentioned on the show how we say it as realtors, but not a lot of mentioned the landlords and the property owners. So this quote does mention that, which this is why I put it in here. So if tenants are unable to pay their rent, then millions of our nation's housing providers, many of whom are individual landlords and small business owners, will be unable to meet their mortgage obligations, make payroll to their own employees, maintain a safe and healthy living environment for their tenants, and pay their state and local government property taxes. So that's from Bob Brokesmith. He's the CEO of the Mortgage Bankers Associations. And then he goes on, the result would be a cascading reaction that would only exacerbate, love that word, the current economic crisis, leading to more job loss, financial pain, and long-lasting economic effects. So essentially, great move, but what's the meat behind it?
Yeah, Melissa, Mike Elizabeth Rodell brings up a good point. She says if the government is going to stimulus check, if the government is going to give stimulus checks to the tenants so they can pay rent or owners to pay mortgage, maybe it would be better if a portion of it was just going directly to the owner. Melissa Mars said, are you getting rolling backouts too? Oh, Patrick Ellis said, but no floods in Cali.
Still no floods, but I have a flood score. So
I'm going to bring back up what Emily said because I thought this was real pertinent to the conversation that we were having. She was one that texted me. She said, in my opinion, it's a horrible move by the CDC. Yeah. I had tenants that stopped paying rent, was unable to get them out. She said, I got extremely lucky. They moved, but they stole everything from the house. Curling, I assume you mean curtains, fans, dishwashers, holes in walls, tore a wall down and tried to steal an oven.
Oh my God.
She goes on to say that they were getting unemployment and stimulus, but choosing not to pay.
And where is Emily? Is she in St. Louis? I don't know where she's at.
She's in San Antonio, right?
Is she Texas? Oh,
yeah, she's definitely Texas.
I had the S right. Anyway.
Unless she moved.
That'd be a big move. But so that's the thing. And we've kind of said it on the show and we're trying to be delicate about it. But what about the people that can pay their rent, still have a job, but also got a stimulus check and then just didn't pay? They're like, I'm not getting evicted. I'm not going to pay. There's no meat behind it. And this is with the original moratorium, not just this one.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. Okay, I'm going to bring up what Melissa Marwa was talking about earlier.
Look at that house.
Look at that house.
So that house should have a flood score, Ray.
You could bet on it.
Yeah, it's literally 1 foot above sea level. It might even be below sea level.
It's on its own peninsula.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It's awesome, right? But that house survived Sandy.
That is amazing.
So cheers to the constructors of that house, but F you to the people that think I should have a flood score, that Ray should have a flood score.
For real.
I don't know.
All right, so let's skip. So we were going to talk about a San Francisco exodus, but we went a little long today. So we're going to have to skip that one. We're going to have to skip one about Zillow opening another location in Jacksonville. Well, I don't have to skip it, actually. I'm going to read that quote. Zillow launched its iBuying solution, Zillow Offers, in its 25th market Wednesday morning. Homeowners in Jacksonville, Florida can now sell their home directly to Zillow. That is all. The rest of the article is just fluff.
Yeah. So, and it's all going to be the same quote we've read 1,000 times on the show. But the San Francisco one. So I've been trying to find, like we had last week or 2 weeks ago, we had Jay Glazer on from New York, actual New York City, talking about the mass exodus from New York. And he's like, dude, it's not like that. I still live in the greatest city on the planet. And, it was awesome to have him on. So if you guys know anyone like that, that's a friend of the show or a friend of yours that lives in San Francisco, like works the city, San Francisco proper, not one of the suburbs, I want to have them on the show because I've been trying to find. I found a couple agents that might be but I want them to have the, like, I want to essentially have an opposing, like, dude, it's not like that, or dude, it's totally like that. So we'll probably push it to next week, but essentially the one gotcha headline is that a new survey says that inventory has risen a whopping 96% year over year.
Yep.
So tune in next week for that article.
Tune in next time. Michael Rodell said, I think mass homeless is worth taking action to avoid, but trusting the tenant or homeowner to do what the money was intended for is dumb. Humans will be humans.
That might be the most accurate statement ever.
Melissa got an error message when she tried to find the flood score for that one. All right, so I want to get to this very, very quickly. The broker public portal now has a new head and goal to overtake Zillow. So as executive director, Joel Rand, I'm going to just kind of go through this really quickly because I literally have 2 minutes.
Yeah,
will be the voice of the BPP in the real estate industry and aims to take HomeSnap, the #1 real estate search site in the country. Do you use HomeSnap?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too.
Right.
Joseph Joe Rand, he's an executive broker, attorney, speaker, book author, and Inman contributor. Is now the executive director of Broker Public Portal, a company formed by a large group of brokers, multiple listing services to launch the nation's first public-facing MLS website. They real estate tech firm formed HomeSnap, National Broker, whatever. You can find the article
so
in Inman, but basically they're trying to create what we've been talking about that the MLSs need to create in order to beat Zillow and survive.
Right.
My question is HomeSnap going to be the back end, or are they going to call it something else and have a different look? I like the Broker Public Portal. I like that better than HomeSnap.
Well, it needs to be a little bit non-user friendly, if that makes sense. It has to say Broker Public Portal. It has to say something that's not something with ly at the end. It needs to be a little bit like that, so people know, like, this is the legit. This is an MLS that you have access to as the consumer. And I love this quote. I wanted to add this. This is from Rand. So when a shopper is ready to become a buyer and wants real information about the property she's interested in, she doesn't get redirected to some random agent who has probably never seen the house. She goes right to the agent who knows that property best. That's better for the client and that's better for the agent. Yep. So I love the idea. And it's the next step from the pocket listing service. This is the next thing. It's what HAR is doing, HAR.com in Texas there in Houston area.
Yeah.
And this guy wears a lot of hats. He's a very smart guy. So it's funny to me that it's not National Association Realtors. It's not the MLSs doing this. It's a dude that says, you know what? Well, it's not him. Sorry. He's now the head of it. But it's a company that's like, all right, someone's got to do something about it. So we're trying that. And they have a lot of MLSs nationally involved already.
I'm really interested in it. Ryan Boker says, love Joe. He's a really smart guy.
Yeah.
HomeSnap powered by BPP.
There you go.
Recognizable to the consumer. I don't know the consumers recognize HomeSnap very much, though.
I mean, if
Rodell says
it's all brand awareness.
She says, I also support Zillow's demise, and I've never heard of HomeSnap, but I appreciate big dreams.
Well, and also what they
a couple of times, it's all right. It's okay. It needs to be better, faster, updated from the MLS. It needs a better.
Well, he does acknowledge their shortcomings in the article. He says, we've dropped the ball here and here, and we're going to, my goal is to fix that. And, what they really could do is, because what they're trying to steer away is from when you go to Zillow, you get hit with all these ads, because those people going to Zillow, even if they're just browsing, they're looked at like a product that's going to be sold to someone else. Their info is going to be sold to someone else. Their goal is to not do that. It's just to provide the data. Here's listings in your search criteria, and here's the listing agent for that listing. I mean,
true.
Like, crazy idea that NAR should have had 18 years ago and call it realtor.com.
Interesting, isn't it?
Weird. Hey,
all right, Dan.
You know what? Go right now. Please go to our YouTube channel, the Bearded Men of Real Estate Show.
Yeah.
Subscribe and get the bell on. Go turn that bell on and get notifications. Let's go.
Ring the bell. Ring the
Ray,
bell.
where can they find you? We're done. We got to go. I'm pissed.
RAYZORBACK.
D Little Grox, DLEDWIGRCKS, and go subscribe to our channel. Put the bell on. Let's go.
Let's go. Share it, please. Bye, y'all.
Love you guys. Bye.